Hi, I'm Dan Goerdt. I'm the president at Flexagon, and this week's question is, what's the difference between continuous delivery and continuous deployment? All right, we need to set the context here a little bit. We're talking broad topics like DevOps, CI/CD, release orchestration. So in this case, we need to understand a little bit about continuous integration and continuous delivery. A building block, in many cases, for continuous delivery or continuous in general, is the breaking down of changes into smaller groups or smaller changes, and more rapidly building and deploying changes through a series of environments and into the end customer's hands. Okay, and so CI is the first part of that, and then we get into the broader CD, which in many cases means continuous delivery. I'll get to continuous deployment in a bit here, but continuous delivery is really about making sure that we have that streamlined process from end to end that basically takes those changes and automates the process of taking the changes and pushing them across a pipeline or a series of stages of environments that you're working through. So you can test the changes and ultimately get the feedback from end users and as rapidly as possible get that into the end user's hands in a production environment, so you can take that feedback and further and continually release changes, get the feedback, and improve the overall solution. So continuous delivery is that broader context of establishing that repeatable and automated process. All right, and now that might have some manual steps in it. So for example, you might have an approval or some automated testing, something where you don't have that full automation from end to end. Now, if we get to a more mature state, we get to continuous deployment. And in that particular case, we can have a situation where we can have a commit of a change, as fine-grained as one change being committed into the source control system by a developer, which can kick off a build and packaging up the changes, and then ultimately creating a snapshot of a release and flow that across a pipeline with full automation from end to end. So not only are the changes deployed, but there are things like automated testing or other quality checks that are automated as part of your entire pipeline. And so without any manual intervention, any human intervention as part of your pipeline, you can get changes that flow all the way from the developers making them throughout the pipeline and into production so that the users can do that. So the key is driving as much speed as you possibly can, as much automation as you possibly can, and ensuring that feedback loop happens as quickly as possible. So that's the difference between continuous delivery and continuous deployment. I hope you liked the video. Please go ahead and like it if you did. And then also please pass along some comments or questions or post up other topics that you'd like to see in subsequent videos. Thanks.